Let's talk about Nickelback Spencer again, even though I didn't really want to. Long story short, I hate Nickelback Spencer. Here was a comic written by him that is not bad. This is the most secret Avengers 12.1. I still need to do a video about this stupid .1 thing. This is a random fill-in issue between runs on this book, and I have made my opinion on this series known. It pretty much squandered anything good it had gammon for it. This issue is actually the best issue of the entire lifespan of this team. Fun fact, the original art for this cover had Black Star drawn there, but since he was never really part of this book, he was replaced with Scarlett Johansson in the final version. And much like Nickelback Spencer's worst work, this is actually about topical politics. It is loosely inspired by WikiLeaks, I think, and I still didn't really understand what WikiLeaks was or is. I always think, is it like, did they leak that Joe Swash edits his own Wikipedia page? But it's not. It's some boring thing about classified documents being made public, and that is boring. I want to know if Damon Albarn vandalises Noel Gallagher's entry on Wikipedia. We have a new version of s.h.i.e.l.d. who is responsible for our release of classified information. This came out when the original s.h.i.e.l.d., John Walters, he had been retired, and I am firmly of the mind that his character should have remained retired. They had given him the perfect send-off, which felt like a fitting end to his character. And so here we have someone else wearing the costume. And before you rush to the comments to say that I am wrong and he is not modelling himself after s.h.i.e.l.d., and now I have bloody read the issue. I'm just saying s.h.i.e.l.d. because I think that is better, and because I cannot be arsed getting into the complicated history of this costume and how Stephen Rogers wore it first, but not as s.h.i.e.l.d. And we actually didn't explore much of anything with regards to government expenses or corruption. What we play with is mostly the exposure of deep cover spies and double agents in various different corners of the Marvel universe. Like here we have the Mafia. They slit the throat of this rat, this gnawing, cheese-eating fucking rat. By the way, if you want to make this rubbish Dan Slott Spider-Man baddie enticing to read, give him Jack Nicholson's voice. He is suddenly brilliant and compelling. So the most secret Avengers get themselves involved, and I think the reason our reactionary commentary here, or whatever it is, I think the reason it works and isn't smug and smarmy and annoying is because Nickelback Spencer, he has highlighted an aspect of WikiLeaks that is relevant, or at least fitting for the supposed purpose of this team. They are meant to be the undercover spy Avengers, which, as I said in my last video about them, they almost never ever are. But the country's confidential informants and stuff like that being exposed, that does feel like something that this team would be best suited to tackling. Captain America, he says it's possibly the greatest security compromise in history. And the Avengers, they cannot save all these agents who are likely going to be executed. They just didn't have enough time or enough manpower to save them all. So instead they narrow it down to extract a single scientist who is with a.i.m. I'm not crazy about Captain America just accepting that everyone else is gonna have to die. But the reasons that this person deserves saving the most is since he saved over 1,000 lives out of altruistic nature rather than greed or self-preservation. And this book mostly achieves my rule about team books. Almost every member gets something today. The Smurf, he is the one who gets the least today. His contribution is mostly debate and counterpoints, but the rest all get a slice of the action, even though it is, at the end, Captain America's story. Here we have Scarlett Johansson seducing a fella, and this is almost actually undercover spy work. That is such an alien prospect to this undercover spy team. She forgoes the sex and instead just pulls a gun to get the information she needs about where the scientist can be found. Now we have a scene with Rhodey Rhodes and the Derek Gravy Ant-Man. And we get an action sequence with Velcro taking out a whole a.i.m. base. And again, I need to remind you that this is Nickelback Spencer. I didn't like this writer. I have an irrational hatred towards him. But this is a very good comic. Also, here is an advert for the only Excellent Men run worth reading after coming second. This is Michael Super Saiyan art. This was one of them stories that made legend Daniel Stevens off the telly, made it clear to me that he was a character with a lot of untapped potential. Avoid all the other Excellent Men books from this period though. So Ant-Man and War Machine, they saved a guy, but it turns out he isn't even the secret agent. It is actually his wife who was using his identity as a cover. What a loving marriage that sounds like. Now, who is the member of the team we have not seen do anything yet? It is Moon Man. He comes to rescue the wife and he fights a bunch of a.i.m. soldiers, but they're too late and the woman has already been killed. So what resolution can come from this? Well, we still have the new us.agent who has started recording a video explaining his actions. And then Captain America has tracked him down and he goes, well, I can tell you this much. If you are trying to persuade me to make you the next us.agent, you are going about it all wrong. And now we get an awesome Captain America story. First we have the guy acknowledging that he isn't actually taking inspiration from us.agent, but from Steven Rogers when he stopped being Captain America and started wearing this costume. And he reckons that Steven Rogers has sold out his ideals and he has become part of the problem. And here is a satisfying beatdown. This guy doesn't even get a single punch in. And then we have Captain America explaining how this new us.agent is wrong because fighting for the right thing should never result in people dying like this WikiLeaks scandal thing has caused. I honestly kind of love this. It is a good Captain America story. It is a good most secret Avengers story. It is a good self-contained issue. And it is written by Nickelback Spencer. I think this makes it clear that there is a tragedy to the career of Nickelback Spencer. He could have done more comics like this. He could have potentially done better Captain America stories, but he didn't. This was like an anomaly. And I'm giving it 7 thumbs up.